All right, so I'm assuming that you can see my screen. So what I'll do, so I'll start to open up here. What I'll do, I'll import some data and then I'll show you how to run the model in STATA. So so I'm gonna go and get the data. So I copied some data here. I'll go to here. Um, Let me just rename some of these data names. All right. This is just a simple. So what I just doing here, I just renaming the data, so it will just be easier to work with. Um, all right. So this is the data here. I now need to create a time variable. I think I need to know. I need to change the state first. Go here. This need to be in capital letters. Right. One create time variable. All right, so the last approach didn't work. Okay, I'll just do this manually then. I'll just do something. Generate equal generate here. So calling my time series here. 1991 plus underscore n minus 1. Okay. TSS. Yeah. See. So this is the year here. So this is now recognized as a time series. Now we have to run the low shift model. Um, Statistics. So looking for low shift model. Will be a cat coral. Um, it's not the model we use. It's not a binormal. It's not a multi-normal low shift. It's a binormal low shift, meaning that the dependent variables could only take two forms. Um, hmm. Not a ordered Probit. Yeah, but all these models for discrete choice modeling, this is really designed for Probit and Logit. State space. Okay, I didn't know this could run state space. I had also used whole MATLAB to run a state space model. This is it here. So binary outcomes. This model, this means that the dependent variable could only be going to take two possible outcomes, either yes or no. So this variable must be 1 or 0. I'm concerned because Max panel data. Just now I'm looking to find a Logit model just now. All right, now to run the model, go to here, binary, logistic regression. Dependent variable. The dependent variable is that last variable we created. I think it was 0. That was a 0, 1 variable. Independent variables. So we just put all them other variables. Yeah. Yeah. I just look okay. Let us run. Let's see. The probability. So this model is a bad model. How I know this for certain? The probability of the different variables, the probability statistics is greater than 0.1. So that means it will lead to the non-rejection of the null hypothesis that each variable is statistically equal to 0 at the 10% level of significance, and that's for all. So this is a bad model. Nevertheless, I just want to show you how to run a Logit model. Now, the key thing you need to know when you're running a Logit model is that when you're dealing with the dependent variable, the dependent variable is non-metric. You'll hear this term used a lot, non-metric or categorical. So it is like a yes/no character, meaning that I used previously example in elections. Who you want to vote for? Will you vote for Republican or will you vote for Democrat? Another yes/no character could be, are you a man or are you a woman? So assuming that there are only two genders, we're not considering transgender or queer or kind of madness. So are you a man or are you a woman? So if you are a man, you code it 1. If you are a woman, you code it 0. There's only two possible outcomes. Another option, so you have a 25-cent piece. Are you the number sign, the number, or are you coat of arms? Another option, it has so much different options with terms of categorical variables. So like you say, if flip a coin, it could be 1 or 2 sides. Are you red or are you blue? So usually when you have a yes/no character, you only a variable could take 1 out of 2 possible values. So it's a categorical variable. Those kind of variables like that tend to be modeled with Logit type modeling. I say Logit, but there's a whole wide different family of these type of models. So I'm going to go to data editor here. This was the categorical variable here, and I manually coded 0101. Now this data here is this is just data. This data doesn't really mean anything. If you have the date here, this was the time variable here, and this is just data that's pulled from, this is just data had on my desktop now. So I just use some data there, and I use this I run this in the model. And I just use the data specifically. I wanted to show you how to run a Logit model in STATA. It's very easy. You have a data imported. You have your time variable set. Time variable set was year. How we set the time variable, I did it different. I used this code, generate year, 1991. 1991 was the first year. Then I put the plus sign. Then I put underscore. Then I put n -1. And This basically, what this will do is that this will look at all the data points, and it will start at 1991 and it will continue right until the last observation. Well, the last observation was the year 2020. So it generated data from 1991 to 2020. And I just did this because I just wanted to have about 30 observations. After you create the time variable, you need to t-set it. So just type in t-set here, and the variable will automatically convert to a time variable. This is just another way to set or create a time variable. But I mean, as you use the software more and more, you realize that there's more than one way to do these different things. So once you have the data imported, you go in, binary outcomes, logistic regression. Let's choose this one. Let's choose a Probit regression. Now, a Probit and Logit, two of these models are discrete choice models, meaning that you have a dependent variable, and the dependent variable is non-metric. The dependent variable could take one out of two possible outcomes. The difference in a Logit and a Probit is that the Logit has a log transformation. If you look at the mathematical proof, the Logit model has a log transformation applied through the entire model. So everything you're dealing with the Logit model is logs, natural logs. Whereas the Probit, the log transformation is not applied. But although we're saying that, and mathematically proof might be different, in practicality, when they do different regression modeling, tends to get very similar results between the Probit models and the Logit models. This might sound very technical. This is not technical. Well, yes, it is technical, but it's not all I had. It is very doable. So let me just show you how to run the Probit model. This run is the dependent variable. I just choose the independent variables. So let's choose some. Click OK. Still bad results. And I can see it one time because the probabilities here are too high. The probability is greater than 0.1. So if the probability is greater than 0.1, that means you cannot reject the null hypothesis that each beta coefficient is equal to 0. We want to get a probability smaller than 0.1. We want a probability smaller than 0.05. We want a probability smaller than 0.001. So we want it smaller than 10%, 5%, and 1% level of significance, because we want to be able to reject the null hypothesis that the beta coefficient is equal to 0. If you look at the R squared and all, bad. See the R squared, 0.0824. So that means it have an 8% fit. So I mean, if you try to run a model and run a regression model, you see 8% of the actual data actually forms a good fit, a straight line, and the remaining 92% don't fit the model, the linear regression good at all whatsoever. So this is a bad model. The model only explains 8% of the variation. So if you use a straight line model, it only explains about 8% of the actual distribution of the data. That is terrible. So any inferences made based on this model will be inaccurate. But this is a bad model, but I just wanted to show you how to run a Probit and Logit model in STATA. You know, for the model, you need to go here, statistics. For Probit and Logit, you go in here. Yeah, let's choose logistic regression. We can go for here. If you choose Probit regression. Now, if you realize, seen plenty of options. Logistic regression with odds ratios, exact logistic regression, panel logistic, multi-level. It have plenty different options because it have plenty different permutations and variants of this model. I just use the standard Logit and the standard Probit. But as you want to tweak your research, you could use a more modified version of the Probit and Logit models. So I'll end this video here.